Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the overview of Tenco Hydro's Clari Scum Concentrator. We've been building Scum concentrators since about 1971, and we treat every application differently. But there's a good chance that if you come to us with an application, we've seen it, done it, and we've had a successful install for decades. This is an overview picture of one of our Scum concentrators, along with the Thermix batch mixing tank. Why use a Scum concentrator? So this might be information that you already know, but as a general overview, we're going to just briefly go over why to use one. This is generally used for controlled removal of scum from the process. So you can prevent odors, pump and valve clog, accidental pipeliner. Scum can accidentally become a pipeliner for you, if not taken care of. You can have slug loads and more. Scum can be used for energy burn and digester fuel. So it's valuable to have a clean process so you don't have an accidental pipeliner, for example, or pumps and valves don't get clogged up. And then also you can save some money, or you can use the scum to burn off to create energy or for your digester. We've got more than 45 years experience with Scum concentrators. We've built them of all shapes and sizes. Here are a couple of examples. We have a rectangular system and we have a trapezoidal system. Generally speaking, whatever fits best for the application, we're happy to go with. Generally speaking, we find that you'll get a longer retention time or detention time in the rectangular Scum concentrator, simply because it's a larger square footage, if you will, larger volume tank, in the same footprint as a trapezoidal. But we truly don't have a preference, whatever best fits your application, and we're happy to discuss pros and cons for both. So this is the legendary quote of the legendary maintenance man: "One well-placed Scum concentrator can save the lives of dozens of pumps." So here are some example operational issues if you don't remove your scum or you don't manage your scum properly. So it's things like odors. It obviously looks gross if you're not managing it well. Lines pipes again, increases head loss. So these are issues that we probably are aware of for the most part. I will just say on this note, it's okay to have a dirty process. And it's okay to have scum and to have lots of it. And the best places that I find simply manage it well. People are happy to come to work when it doesn't look gross and smell gross everywhere, typically speaking. But it's okay to have those things as long as they're well managed. And so, we're happy to help you do that with the Scum concentrator and various other equipment. Here is the basic anatomy of a Scum concentrator. So we're going to start with, I suppose, the moving component, which are the green arrows. That is the variable speed skimmer blades. That is the skimmer mechanism, and that is what skims the scum off the top, if you will, of the tank, of the holding tank. So that's really the only moving piece, and it's variable speed, and you adjustable weir plate. You can adjust the weir plate up and down to move the level of the water and the scum to make sure you're skimming the right amount of scum plus water. This is adjustable depending on the process, but the adjustable weir plate is how you would control the level of the water. We're just going to go through a few more things here. The beach. That is where, after you've done the scraping through the tank, the beach is where a bit of dewatering takes place. There's a lot of different features that we can have in this beach area. Typically we just scrape it up a solid metal beach, and then it goes into the concentrated scum outlet, and that's where the scum goes. Some people like to have different types of coarse filtration in this area before it goes into the scum outlet. Some people like to dewater it, really focus on the dewatering of it. We rely on the rest of the process to do the majority of that. We've found typically filtration at this point. It can work, but we veer away from it generally speaking. So just because it's a potential point of failure. And when you come out of that scum outlet, if you're going into the right tank and you're managing the scum throughout the rest of your system well, we find that by simply adjusting the weir plate and making sure you have the right amount of scum plus water, scraping onto that beach, that's what we found to be the most repeatable solution, the lowest maintenance solution, if you will. And then lastly, we have a few more things. Influent, that's where the water comes in. The effluent, that's where the water goes out. And then we do have a drain at the bottom, the drain and settled sludge. The drain goes back to a primary septic condition. So this is a general basic anatomy of what a scum concentrator is, and that's what we like to stick with. We pretty much stick with the basics. So basic anatomy of a holding tank. So once the scum is scraped onto the beach and out into a holding tanks typically are heated, mixed, and then pumped out. Now, that is our general recommendation. When in doubt, let's make sure that it's heated and mixed and it's got a good pump system. Some people will tell me we've had scum, holding tanks that, for the last 20 years hasn't been heated, hasn't been a problem. Okay, that's totally fine. We don't need to make it heated, but for the best handling of scum, traditionally, you'd want it heated, mixed, and pumped out. So we're going to briefly go through that. Heated, there's many different ways that we can heat our Thermix batch process tank. This is used as a scum holding tank. That's one of the primary uses that we've come up with. So we can heat it by an electric blanket, an immersion heater. We can do a recirculated hot water system. We can tie into your existing hot water system. And we have many engineered designs with a double-walled tank. So we've found that to be the best for even heating throughout the tank. The immersion heater would go in the double wall, traditionally speaking, in the double wall, and it would heat the water. It would not heat the process directly. We've done both, but we have found the best results come from putting the immersion heater in the double wall system. So, and this is totally a prefab engineered solution. I shouldn't say prefab. We can fabricate this entire solution for you, and we're happy to walk you through how exactly heating might be best for your application. Mixed, we do have a custom proprietary impeller, and it is sized to most effectively mix scum. Some people, we find, make the mistake of sizing an impeller to mix water. Because scum has a derated mixing ability. Essentially, it's harder to mix scum than it is water. And you need to size for that appropriately on the front end. So we do that. We have a custom impeller. We've also used many different types of agitators. So it's dependent on your application. We typically put baffles in as well. And these have a 10-year plus expected life. The impeller that we design is designed to go in and not have any issues. As you can see, it's rather robust. So, pumped out. So at the bottom, we would typically have a progressive cavity pump, with an open throat, and it would be sized for effective discharge. It would have a wide inlet opening with a rotor. So again, we're trying to make things as maintenance free as possible once it's installed. This one having a wide inlet. That way scum doesn't get stuck when it's coming in. Having the rotor to keep things moving. We don't find many issues, and we typically put this at the bottom of a Thermix batch process tank, and we can pipe it in with the rest of the system as well. Thank you very much. If you would like to learn more about the Scum Concentrator or any other water, wastewater, or automation product that we can provide for you, feel free to reach out to us, sales@tencohydro.com.